Alright, so what we're going to attempt to do with this video is I want you to try to hear the sound of a bullet passing you. We talked about the distance that the speed at which the bullet travels at is about 330 meters per second. Excuse me, that's the speed at which sound travels at 330 meters per second. So I want you to try, I'm going to try to set this up so that you'll hopefully be able to hear that. I want to be way back up here. There's a deer stand about 200 yards back there. I am using a 9mm pistol, so I don't know if it's going to quite do it or not. But what we're going to try to do is I'm going to try to shoot beyond the camera here, and I'm hoping you'll be able to hear that cracking sound. What you're listening for is the only thing I can really describe it as is it sounds like lightning striking right beside you. You'll hear that sound, and that's how you know it's a bullet. And then what's going to happen is you'll hear the actual boom from the gun. So if you're able, I want you to try to watch for the muzzle flash, listen for that striking sound, and then finally you'll hopefully be able to hear the actual discharge of the weapon. Okay, so we weren't able to quite get the sound of the bullet passing right beside the camera here. But what we were definitely able to see, or what you should be able to see, was the discharge of the weapon from way down there, and about 1 second went by when you heard the actual discharge of the weapon. So I counted just under 1 second, which is about right because sound travels at 330 meters per second, and that's just a touch over 200 yards. So that's about right. So what you can see is by using this method, it kind of gives you a good idea of where your enemy might be. So if I hear the bullet passing me, then I hear the discharge, and I counted 2 seconds in between that time, I know the distance has got to be roughly 600 to 700 yards, right? Well, this so happens that would have to be that house way up there at the other end of the pasture. So it would have to be about that far. So I'd have to look around and go, well, where could a person take a shot at me? Where do they have a good line of sight on me from that distance? Well, obviously it's not going to be right here to my left and right because you're talking 25, 50. The other end of the pasture, I'm looking at 150 yards. So that's not where they shot at me from. So it has to be from that direction, right? Okay. Well, if I was going to shoot from somebody from that direction, where would I be? Well, let me show you. If I was going to shoot at somebody from that direction, you got that house right there and those woods right beside it. Those are going to that's going to be about where they're going to be. That corner right there of those woods, you can see the legs on the tree stand. That's too close for that kind of a distance, for that delay. So it would have to be either that house or those woods right there. So hopefully you can see how that little bit of information, that little bit of knowledge would help you discern a possible location of your enemy and where he's shooting at you from. That's something known as counter sniping. That is a counter sniping tactic. So it's also something we use in reconnaissance world because if we're observing armored vehicles and we can hear them, but they're way the hell off, and we're trying to go, well, how far are they so that we can do a call for fire? As soon as I see one of the guns go off or I see the vehicle move and I count 2, 3, then I hear the click, 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 click from the tracks moving. Okay, well now I can get a rough assessment of how far away he is. Here's where I'm at. Pull out my map, grid coordinates, blah, 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 blah. Hit that. Boom, I got a grid coordinates for him. Now I can call in a strike for him, do a call for fire, call in an airstrike, and do a precision strike on their objective because I can actually give the guys doing the strike their grid coordinates, all because I know how fast sound travels.